Upon filing your lawsuit in a press conference, compare my client to King Kong coming out of the jungle. Yes or no?
That was not my intention.
Did you do that? Did I make up those words, or are those your words to the press?
I'm not sure, but probably sounds familiar.
Gwyneth Paltrow's defense is being helped by technology. Lori Daybell, she's trying to keep the victim's grandparents from sitting in the courtroom during the trial. And Stephen Smith's murder case is heating up. What a week in true crime. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Profiling Evil. Thanks for joining us today. You know, it's snowing here in Utah, and the Park City skiers are in heaven. But I'll tell you what, the courtroom in Gwyneth Paltrow's case is a living purgatory. In fact, snowy problems are the least of their problems. Technology could bring this case to a standstill. I hope you'll hit that like and subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's dig into this week's true crime. Well, I joined Julie Grant on Court TV today to talk about the Gwyneth Paltrow ski accident trial. In a brilliant move, in my opinion, Paltrow's attorneys recalled Terry Sanderson to the stand. Now, you'll remember, he's the eye physician, retired, that believes that Paltrow maliciously bumped into him, caused him to be injured, and created some real neurological problems for him. Well, they had him take the stand in a final attempt to discredit the guy and convince the jury that he was more about notoriety and less about a brain injury than this ski slope condition could have caused. Sanderson was showed photographs from his Facebook page after the event. So this is after the collision happened on the ski slopes, after he said he was debilitated and unable to carry on successfully. From his Facebook page, the defense showed, and by way of reminder, the defense is actually Gwyneth Paltrow's team. She's being sued by the plaintiff, Terry Sanderson. They put Sanderson on the stand and showed his Facebook page that showed this vacationing physician traveling all around the world after the accident that he said changed his life. The defense showed images of Sanderson recreating in the Amazon, traveling extensively across Thailand and many other locations throughout the world. He apparently, at least in my opinion, seems really healthy as he's hiking and biking and ziplining and canoeing and everything else. In fact, he's even shown at an exotic car show in Germany, 3 separate trips to the Netherlands, and several trips to Morocco. So somehow he was able to do all of that while apparently suffering a declining event from this ski accident. Watch this exchange.
Post-incident travel by Dr. Sanderson. Mr. Sanderson, did you go to Peru?
Yes.
After the collision. All of these are after the collision, okay?
Yes.
Visit Machu Picchu.
Costa Rica, yes.
Walk the Golden Trail.
Yes.
Machu Picchu is in Peru.
Yes.
Floated down the Amazon.
Yes, I guess so.
Costa Rica. Did you do a zip line?
Same trip, yes.
Did you go to Europe? Visit Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, France, Belgium?
With my daughter, Jenny, yes.
Bottom half, James, please. Did you go to the Netherlands 3 times?
I don't remember.
Well, if you're disputing it, then we pull it out of your deposition.
I don't remember. I have no reason to dispute it or agree.
Okay, Morocco twice. True?
Likely, very likely.
Canary Islands. I need to know if you're disputing these things.
I can't dispute it, no.
Thailand. Did you go to Thailand after the collision?
Yes.
Did you visit at least the states of Washington, Oregon, Montana, and Idaho after the collision?
Probably, yes.
Let's go to the 1147. You're a Facebooker, right? At least you were at the time. You posted a lot on social media.
Relative to other people, it did seem like I did. Very little.
All of these pictures are from your personal Facebook after the collision.
Okay.
let's go to number 47. And is there a way to enlarge it, James? Is this you doing a selfie in your backyard?
Beautiful sunset, probably so.
Page 48, having a party in your backyard?
No. That was somebody else's party. I just dropped it. It was my renter's party.
If you can straighten it up.
Cinco de Mayo. And she wanted to use the back deck.
And enlarge if you can. You went to a party in your backyard after the collision, true?
I just visited to make sure they had everything they needed.
Yes?
Yes.
Page 49, not very good quality. This is from you and your girlfriend at the time, smiling, true?
Yes, yes.
Next one, number 50. This is a picture of you and your girlfriend.
Yes.
And smiling big, right?
Smile, camera, yep.
Next one, 51. This is you and your girlfriend. Is that southern Utah hiking?
I don't remember where.
Looks like you have one of those cool backpacks with water on. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Next one, 52. This is you going on a hike, taking a picture of a moose, right?
Yes.
Nothing like fresh, cool air, a running brook, and easily entertained and hungry company. That's your personal post. Is that true?
Yes. Definitely.
53. This is another picture of you on a hike. True?
Yes, trying out my camera saying smile.
Every one of these pictures is after the collision. Page 54. This is you and your girlfriend at the time. Is that true?
Yes.
You look pretty happy. You agree?
Yes.
Page 55. This is you and your girlfriend. This is this very same year, 2016, as the incident in question. This is you and your girlfriend on your Facebook, all smiles. True?
Yes, true.
56. Let's look at another picture. You and your girlfriend on a hike, smiling. True?
Yes.
Do you have that cool backpack on again?
Yes.
Camelback. Is that
Yes,
the brand?
It is.
Page 57. Let's go again. Is this you, same year of the accident, hiking?
Yes.
That looks pretty steep.
Trying to get back in shape, yeah.
Page 58. Is this you kayaking after the collision? We're 7 months after the collision.
Absolutely not.
Is that a kayak above you?
I don't know what it is.
Sir, I asked you about this in your deposition. Is this you kayaking?
No, absolutely not.
Oh boy.
I was trying on helmets to protect my head.
Did you go kayaking after the collision?
I don't remember that, but this is not it. This was in a local
It's a
store.
whole different question. Let's ignore the picture.
Thank you.
Did you kayak after the collision?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's try to find it. You went scuba diving, right?
What year?
After, I don't even care what year. After the collision.
I did go sometime after, yeah.
You went to an auto show in Germany. Does this sound right?
With my daughter, yes.
Went to a shooting range. Does this sound right?
Yes.
BMX bike show, right?
Maybe, not sure.
Scuba diving 4 different occasions. Is that true?
Probably on the same week, on the same trip, probably.
Went on a boat ride of several canals in the Netherlands. True?
Yes.
You rode bikes?
Yes.
Did bus tours?
Yes.
Boat tours?
Yes.
Auto show we talked about. Explored older towns in Central Europe. True?
True, with my daughter. It was wonderful.
Morocco. Is there a word called Marrakech?
Yeah, yes.
What is that again?
It's a city.
All right. You visited there twice?
I did. Zakia.
Explored Jewish markets there?
Yes.
Cultural sites? the Dior Museum? Is that cool?
Yes, I did.
Julie Grant then asked me about the plaintiff's approach in the case, and specifically if Sanderson's attorney missed the boat by not showing this guy as a veteran, a skilled physician who's helped people for decades, and an all-around good guy. Catch my response here.
And Commander King, let's take it a step further here. To me, I felt like going into this case, and it's important for everybody to understand, we have no horse in this race. Whatever the outcome is doesn't change our lives one bit. And with any case we cover, our job is just cover it objectively, discuss it well, point out accuracies, inaccuracies, all of that. So to have this robust discussion around this, it's important to think about the presentation, the case presentation. And to me, Commander, Dr. Terry Sanderson could be a really good plaintiff if his lawyers would present it right. He's a military veteran. He's done a lot of good in his life, serving our country, and then practicing as an optometrist for many years. And how many of us go to see our eye doctor every year and need our glasses, and the patients can love their eye doctor. So to me, I feel like they have missed showing the jury the good that he's done, and not prepared him at all for an aggressive cross. What they should have done is said, were you hurt? Yeah, but essentially, can the world see your injuries? Well, no, it's imperceptible to everybody in the world. I can still do all these things, like travel to a million places, but here's where I have difficulty. To me, they just dropped the ball so badly, I don't think they're ever going to be able to recover and score any more points. Commander, your take, please.
I feel exactly the same way, Julie. In fact, I was so frustrated by a couple of things. One is that they didn't build this person up as someone who has done so much good. They've kind of allowed him at times to even look goofy on the stand, and I don't know that that's helped him. It's troubling to me that they allow him to not be in the courtroom, and yet everyone else is required to be there. It's his lawsuit. I'm struggling with that. I thought the defense did a great job in putting on all of his activities since then, and I agree with you all that this was the best part of the case, in my opinion, yesterday, when they said time after time, this guy is out, he's active, and as you watch him on the stand, boy, he's trying to manipulate and use charisma to change and swing things the way that best fits him. I just don't think it's coming across.
No, he came across very poorly, in my opinion, because he was fighting and he was nitpicking everything. And to me, he would have been better to say, yes, my travel ability wasn't affected by my accident, but other abilities were, counselor. And his lawyers.
Well, if you've been watching this trial today, it is a doozy. It's almost comical to watch the plaintiff bring in this expert, Mr. Bain, who's testifying that Dr. Schuer's equations in regard to the biomechanics of a ski collision, including things like when the body or the foot comes out of a ski binding and other kinds of things, Mr. Bain said that Dr. Schuer was completely off base and incorrect in regard to testimony that the doctor had given. Now, all of this, surrounds, again, these biometrics of the collision. And I think the defense did a really good job of deflating all of the plaintiff's expertise, especially when this Mr. Bain admitted he wasn't an expert in ski biomechanics, but admitted the defense witness was. So who are you going to believe? The expert or the guy who's filling in to try to solve a problem? Julie then asked me about Gwyneth Paltrow's claim that she might have been assaulted, and I provided this response. Let's watch.
Okay, Commander Mike King, when you hear this, what do you think? Does this make sense to you, the explanation that Gwyneth Paltrow's giving?
It doesn't make sense to me, Julie, but I've never been in a position where I've felt like I was going to be sexually victimized. So I really have to be cautious in some of my comments here. But, when I was a young rookie police officer, a bunch of us were ski instructors at Powder Mountain, a nearby ski resort. And, crashes happen every day. And I keep going back to the fact that they're putting a whole lot of memories into something that happened in a fraction of a second, and they tumbled to the ground. There's inherent risk with skiing. And, I go back to something that Sanderson said that really has troubled me, where he talked about how he always tries to keep some distance and ski to the right and keep some things. So those are things that you see in inexperienced skiers that don't have control, and skiers that have more control seem a little more aware of how to get the ski into the snow and turn and move and make adjustments. And so I guess I'm really struggling with a lot of the testimony from both sides, because they both seem like they're trying to manipulate things rather than say, here's what happened. We crashed into each other.
Appreciate your take, Commander. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, who knows? Really, only the two people that know are the two of them. I can't wait to see what this jury does. Court's gonna...
Well, this one's going to deliberation real soon, and it's going to be interesting to see how the thing comes down. I mean, how would you be voting if you were sitting on the jury right now? Would you be siding with Terry Sanderson, who says he was injured by Gwyneth Paltrow, who hit him from behind? Or is it the other way around, and you'd side with Gwyneth Paltrow, who says she was hit from behind by an out-of-control Sanderson? Please, folks, put your answers down below and weigh in on what each other has to say on this. Hey, folks, it's Mike from Profiling Evil, and I want to share my thoughts about our affiliate, Truthfinder. I use Truthfinder every single day to research the people and the cases that we're talking about here. But you can use it to reconnect with a loved one, find an old friend, or look up your former schoolmates. Now, they make searching really easy, and all you got to do is enter a name, an address, a phone number, or an email. Then you're provided with this really cool list that you can start to explore. Use Truthfinder to figure out who that new neighbor really is, or keep your family safe by checking out the parents in your kids' carpool. Now, many of you use the internet to search out new friends, but you can use Truthfinder to sniff out scammers and online predators, especially before you meet them in person. And folks, we get a small commission when you sign up. It's about enough to buy a small soda, but you gain the ability to satisfy your curiosity, protect your family, and find the truth out about people in your life. Please take advantage of the special Profiling Evil discount code. It's on the screen, and it's also in the description down below. And remember, you can cancel this thing at any time. Now, let's get back to today's crime case. Now, before we left Court TV today, we also chatted about this renewed interest in Stephen Smith's death investigation. If you recall, Stephen is a young man who was killed in 2015 in the Low Country, right near the Murdaugh residence. Stephen falls into this never-ending Murdaugh saga, and the shenanigans that are occurring in the Low Country just continue to baffle me. Stephen was found deceased on a country road in 2015, and for many years the case was simply ruled as an auto-pedestrian hit-and-run accident. Well, now it's being re-examined by the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division as a homicide. I'm going to continue to look at it as a death investigation. I guess even if it was a negligent or a manslaughter, that falls within homicide. But here's the deal. Julie Grant asked me about the evidence that's starting to percolate in this case. They've got the clothing. They're looking at it a little more closely, but keep in mind that clothing went to the funeral home and was in a bag. So there's going to be some real challenges on evidence when it comes to that clothing and anything that might be contaminated in there. But she spoke about the fact that the family, Stephen Smith's mom, has hired an attorney and a group who have raised some funds and hired Dr. Kinsey. You'll remember him from the Murdaugh trial, really likable guy. And he's joining the private investigation. Now, you're going to hear a recurring theme, in my opinion, in this case. So listen as I explore the crime scenes in the Stephen Smith case. And yes, you heard me right. Crime scenes. Let's listen.
Let me bring in my guests, Commander Mike King and Attorney Philip Dubé, to talk about this. Oh, Commander, let me get your thoughts on this in terms of this investigation, tapping into your experience. What do you think about Dr. Kenny Kinsey leading the charge there privately?
I really like Kinsey. I think he just comes across so warm and genuine. I think it's going to be a real boost to the case. It's going to add authenticity to it. I like Eric Bland. I mean, I've been on Court TV with Eric on a number of occasions. Here's the thing that I think is so important in this particular case, and the thing that sometimes we keep glazing over, and that is when we have situations like this, there are literally several crime scenes that need to be considered. There's these initial contact sites, this place and time where this young man and whoever's responsible for this came together in space and time. And we've seen information that could suggest that might have been some conflicts that occurred back at Snyder's Crossing, way to the east, further east than even the Murdoch residence. But that could be a potential contact site where there's evidence and information that might be available to help us start to understand the behaviors of what led up to this homicide. Then there's the crime scene, and we really don't know where the crime scene is. I was troubled from day one, Julie, that law enforcement didn't spend more time processing where Stephen's vehicle was recovered. They went immediately to the location where the body's recovered and got tunnel vision there, which has led to a lot of question and probably a loss of some pretty valuable information. Now, that crime scene might be really important. And then there's the disposal site in these kinds of cases that are really important. The place where Stephen's body was left in the roadway. And boy, I'm with all the witnesses thus far that have talked about this thing, that it doesn't shake out that this young man was left in the middle of the road in that condition without some kind of physical evidence artifact around him to support that. But the disposal site could also be where that vehicle was dropped as well. And so we got to keep in mind 3 different kinds of crime scenes that are really important when you try to figure out these kinds of cases.
Definitely, Commander. You know, you have the investigation experience, not me. I was saying this week on the show, to me it seems like there might be 3 crime scenes, right? The roadway, the car, and then where he was killed. It's possible, isn't it? Huh. Yeah. This is really something.
Well, where do you think Stephen Smith died, folks? I mean, was it on the roadway where he was discovered, or did it happen somewhere else and his body was disposed there? Was this a planned murder, or did something go wrong? Maybe some goofing off that went wrong, or an accident, but it certainly ended up being a cover-up. Let's put your comments down below, and I'm going to be looking forward to reading those. And finally, let's wrap up with a case that's surely going to get your blood boiling. It's Lori Vallow Daybell and her defense team, who have asked the court to exclude J.J. Joshua Vallow's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, from listening to the trial. Now, they've been called as a witness by the prosecution, and the defense has brought up this idea that because JJ was adopted, in reality, they're not his legal grandparent and not justified in being able to sit through that trial. Now, the reason the couple is set to testify, the defense doesn't think they should be granted victim family status because of that adoption. They argue also that them sitting in the courtroom would influence their testimony by hearing other people's testimony. Something that we've talked about a lot on this channel. In fact, we talked about it with Buster Murdoch, why he sat through the trial. But victim rights allow certain things to happen. Frankly, it's an argument that has merit. And while it's a little different than my analogy of Buster Murdoch, it's still got me scratching my head as to why he was allowed to sit in the court day after day before he testified in his father's hearing than the Woodcocks are. This just doesn't make sense to me. Now, sure, South Carolina and Idaho are a long ways apart from each other, but let's not forget that it was the Woodcocks' efforts that kept Rexburg Police Department engaged in looking for J.J. Vallow. The Woodcocks, are the ones that kept calling police and saying, we haven't heard from him. And they started this whole process of the welfare check on the child that led to Lori being arrested in Hawaii, and then it led to murder charges after the bodies of J.J. and Tylee Ryan were dug up in Chad Daybell's background. And by all means, let's not forget Tammy Daybell as well. Well, Lori's trial is set to begin on April 3rd with jury selection. That's just a couple of days from now. Originally, it was scheduled for 10 weeks. But now that Chad's case has been severed from Lori's case, it could end much sooner. So the question is, are you going to be watching this one? I suspect I'm going to be watching a lot because I'm going to be doing Court TV and News Nation a lot as this case unfolds. I hope you'll join me on each of those as I do those. This is a case about ritual crime, something that I spent a career investigating. In fact, I got to plug it because it's helping us build a children's justice center. Check out my book on the Zion Society cult. It's called Deceived, and I hope that you'll buy it because, again, the proceeds are going to build a children's advocacy center, a place where kids can be forensically and physically examined as part of the criminal justice process, children who have been sexually or physically abused. Hey, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and please consider joining our channel memberships. My favorite is the Academy level, where you get a whole lot more for just a little more. Your donation helps us continue to push out quality content on Profiling Evil, and it frankly helps us stay alive here. So thanks for supporting us. Make sure you're checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. You can also find Profiling Evil on your favorite podcast platform. So thanks again, folks. We'll see you soon at the next crime scene.